Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a trauma-informed transition. Today I am presenting our transition plan here at the school board. Any questions can be emailed to me at lauren.kessel@gmail.com. Our first transition is a transition to a trauma-informed school. We're going to be building 4 heroes on relationships and love. There are 5 critical concepts we have to consider when talking about making a trauma-informed school. The stress is coming from outside of school. The stress is not something that is necessarily school related. And so we have to remember that and not take it personally. And there are strategies to deal with each of these concepts. We have to allow the student to de-escalate and regulate before solving the issue at hand. Students are not coming to us with the ability to regulate. And we have to remember it's never about the issue at hand. It goes much deeper. And it's typically related to their trauma. It's a brain issue, not a behavioral issue, and discipline is to teach and not to punish. So how to transition? We really need to be focusing on professional development, the building of relationships, and buy-in from the top down. If we look here, we have a picture of the hierarchy of learning, very similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But if you look at it, learning is that very top part. So a kid is unable to learn until they've got the physiological needs met: breathing, freedom from hunger and thirst, their safety. And when you think about it, a lot of students who have experienced trauma do not feel safe. And then their relationships and love. So that could be teachers, school administrators, the counselors, other school personnel, and their friends, as well as their family. And so we have to get through these items all the way up through esteem and self-love to be able to get them ready to learn. A quote I really enjoyed was, "They take these same survival skills into the classroom with them. They are constantly reading the environment and you to determine their level of safety. It is up to us to reinforce that they are in fact safe and that they can trust their environment." So one of the transitions we have to make is to a trauma-informed office. We're using the office to lead. Why the office? Change is most effective from top down, and students will still be sent to the office for behavior, but if we are using discipline to teach instead of punish, that can be modeled through the office. With 100% of buy-in from administrators, we're hoping for 75 to 80% of buy-in from teachers, but we will have those stragglers who don't believe in it at first, so they need to see it modeled. The transition to trauma-informed classrooms, making classrooms feel safe and warm for all students. One of those strategies is called safe spaces, and it assists with regulation. Within each classroom, there's a safe space, calm corner, zen den, zen zone, whatever it's called, that students can go and they can work on their regulation. So they might go when they're upset, when they're sad, and there will be tools there to help them calm down and leave that state of dysregulation until they're calm again and they can easily re-enter the class without being punished. Eventually, it will hit the point where students should enter that entirely on their own, calm themselves down, and re-enter, but it will be a bit of a transition at first. This area helps students to regulate within the context of their relationship rather than leaving them by themselves to regulate. It reflects the understanding that students' challenges are regulatory-based, not behaviorally based. And it's so important that the students that we teach understand that they are not at fault here, but that they need to work on their regulation. Another strategy within the classroom is emotional literacy. Students need to be able to identify and process their emotions. Personally, I believe in using ruler to let them do that, but there are all sorts of different strategies. But in the end, it is all about the relationships. We also need to transition to a more trauma-informed community. Part of this is using the school and helping connect students and their families with resources. Within the community, there are resources in space that are available for students and their families, but they're not aware. We can even hold parenting classes at a neutral location, such as the community center. With its location across the street from 4 Heroes, it's the ideal place to hold the parenting classes and to have parents and the families come, have the classes, have childcare, have food provided. But the steps to ensure a smooth transition. At the beginning of the year, we need to really focus on professional development and teach both students and families about stress. As the year progresses, a few months into it, we'll survey and begin to look at data. And we'll kind of end the year with surveying again and analyzing all the data to prepare for next year. The first year is not going to be perfect. It never is with any sort of change. But it will give us a lot of information to help us make it even smoother as we go forward. And in the end, what it comes down to is this quote: "Can you think of a greater gift that you can give your students than the gift of hope and the path to become the special individual they were meant to be?" Each of our students is amazing and has so much potential, but we have to help them see that. And what I'm hoping is that we'll see such success with Four Heroes that the entire rest of our district will become trauma informed and it will change our community for the better. Thank you very much, and you all have a great night.